So he got a story.
How you doing? I'm Krajewski from Manchester, Connecticut. Save Our Kids Parental Alienation Foundation at www.fatherwithoutchristmas.com. Fathers for Justice, Fathers for Good with the Knights of Columbus. And I'm here for parental rights, judicial accountability, shared parenting, and guardianship, all the abuses that are happening.
All you people stand behind you. Put some signs
in
up.
this country.
Make yourself known.
We also have a monster Jeep with 30 organizations now from Connecticut to California, shared parenting and parental alienation, to get the word out every day that I take it out driving around, passing out flyers and brochures and getting the word out. Also testifying at the Fatherhood Task Force in Connecticut. And we're here today to get the word out. To show that we're not going to take it anymore.
Say your website. What's the website, Ken?
It's fatherwithoutchristmas.com. My story was I was thrown into the family courts after being separated with my ex for 7 years. Trusting her that we would do what was right for the children, and then I got a restraining order on a mosquito bite in a car magazine. And that's how pathetic the judge who looked at it should have either thrown her out or had her prosecuted for false allegations, and that's not the case. It was dismissed within 1 week, and then a GAL got into the case because
What's the GAL?
Guardian ad litem.
Oh, great!
Which I wanted to show past police reports and things of other boyfriends beating her around my children, and these things didn't seem to matter to her. She wanted to try to hold me on contempt for a parenting class that I already went to and nonsense like that. And I knew her game from the very beginning, and the things that she did to taint the judges, the 2 judges that were before me.
Well, the thing is you know, you just hit the core word, guardian ad litem. My daughter went through a similar situation in Prince George's County a year or so ago, and Judge Dawson stood up after he appointed the guardian ad litem and gave a half-hour dissertation to my daughter and her ex, and told him point blank, he says, listen, you know, and I've got this on transcript, so I'll put on audio transcript too, I believe.
Everybody has to get transcript.
But he said, listen, why don't you go out in the hall and work this out? All you are doing here, basically, is you are stealing from your children's inheritance and college fund, and you are paying these fat cat lawyers. Now you have 3 of them. And he ultimately, I thought he was a good judge. I still, you know, in certain cases he's a good judge, and I have no problem with it. It was a very strange case. At the end, my son-in-law actually submitted a letter to the court saying he didn't want to see his kids until they were 21. Didn't want to have anything to do with them. The judge looked at it and said, raise your hand, give an oath. If this is what you want, you got it, son. That's it. Now I can't blame because he, you know, he's got some wonderful grandkids, wonderful. But this happens in all cases. But the guardian ad litem, the 3 attorneys got well over $100,000 from the victims.
And they falsified.
And all they had to do was walk out in the hall and say, my daughter already had a piece of paper, 50% custody, 50% of everything I own, equal rights to everything.
Right.
That wasn't good enough for him. He wanted to make sure he destroyed her, and he did.
Yep.
So
they falsified.
It wasn't the judge. It was
reports.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't believe. 2 years I asked the guardian ad litem for a bill. Never gave me a bill, and then she gave me a $28,000 bill.
You sue him.
That she just presented a few months ago.
Have you filed a complaint with the? Where are you at? Out of
Connecticut.
You file a complaint with the. There's an attorney grievance committee in Connecticut.
Well, we're doing more than that.
Okay, suing. You have a right to sue him.
Those
or
two,
her, or whatever she is.
those almost 2 years that I haven't seen my son and daughter since I've been exiled 3 months ago in a trial where there was 5 witnesses supposed to testify. The judge ended it with 1. The judge also found out about my website and wanted to shut down my website. I filed an injunction against him previously, and I'm sure that has something to do with him ending the trial. But these judges, lawyers, throwing on black robes, they're playing violins in the courtroom. They're calling themselves God. They're no due process. Ending trials without the witnesses after they said on record, I want to hear all your witnesses, is just sick, man.
I believe it was Connecticut that the pastor called in at last week's rally and stated he was thrown in prison for reciting the Bible in the court.
Right.
And he was put in prison, and he had just gotten out, and on the CPS rally at the West Lawn of the Capitol.
They don't want to hear about things like that.
They don't want to hear anything injustice.
I went into court for 2 months. One over the children need both parents' wristbands, and the other was over my vehicles that they wanted me to sell, versus reading police reports where my children were in real harm's way. That's how sick and perverted these judges are.
Well, it was a pleasure having you, and
Thank you.
Thank you for traveling here today.
Thank you.
God bless. Have a safe trip back.